The first story we're going to start with is the story of my Gemini twin. So let's go ahead and set the stage. The story of my Gemini twin, how it began. The summer of 1990 will always be a core memory for me. I had just pivoted from attending a very prestigious MD PhD program and instead decided to apply to psychology graduate school programs. And so instead of graduating and moving back to the mainland in the fall, I would need to do one more year of undergraduate in Victoria, which was mostly fine with me. Outside of my academic life, my fitness career was going outstandingly. We had just wrapped the 1990 season of Body Moves, and I had just been accepted into an 8-week in-residence registered yoga teacher, an RYT intensive with my primary yoga mentor. That meant that I would be spending the summer in the Bay Area of California, which was a throwback to childhood road trips that I took mostly with my dad, but sometimes with both of my parents to Oakland. I was super excited to be training directly with my mentor, but was also excited about the opportunity to visit with my old family friends. What was less fine about my life at that time was my living situation. So a few months earlier, I had moved in with my boyfriend and a couple of his friends. They jointly owned and operated a stucco company. So we lived in this big house together on Quadra Street in Victoria, and it was supposed to be just a short-term solution, a really inexpensive housing situation to be living with a bunch of construction workers that I met at one of the gyms where I taught fitness classes for what I thought were going to be the final months of my undergraduate. The dude that I was dating at the time was a fun guy, very attractive, but dumb. So not exactly an ideal match, but I also knew that I would be leaving for graduate school, and I thought that things would just naturally take their course. So I landed at the Oakland airport on June 16th, 1990. Both the studio and the family billet housing that I was assigned to were in Piedmont area. So I got settled before heading over to the studio for our welcome session and the orientation. Later that night, I called my family friends and made plans to have Sunday dinner with them the next day. On Sunday, I took the BART over to my family friend's house and was both nervous and excited to see them. It had been like 12 years since I'd last seen them, and we'd all grown up and were now young adults. But really, it was like no time had passed. And it was just us sharing that same little kid energy and the fond remembrances of our past adventures. And it was one adventure that we went on together that summer that led to me meeting my Gemini twin.